and welcome to the final divisional preview as we go to the NFC East. And it's not like we were very lucky waiting to the last second to record this or anything. Nothing major happened at all.
What? I guess I must have missed it. I was out of town last night.
Oh yeah, sure. Listen, we all know what's happened, and we're excited to talk about this division as a whole. This is not going to just be the Cowboys Central. We're not even Cowboys fans, so trust me, we don't like to talk about them positively as it is, but we will in some areas, and we won't in some areas as well. It's a very mixed bag with them. But we start off with the Dallas Cowboys. And I have a question. Has there been a trade recently that a team from Dallas trade away a star 26-year-old entering his prime for draft pick compensation, an aging defensive-minded player that is getting paid the most he ever has in his career and is clearly on the decline? Has that happened recently?
You mean other than last week?
Yeah, like the similarities between this and the Luka Doncic trade is just hilarious to me. And
I see where you're going with that. Okay.
And ironically, I'm sorry, I wish I had a face cam. I actually put on my Luka shirt today because I was doing this. I'm a Lakers fan, everyone. Apologize. The similarities made me chuckle, especially when you really dig deep. And I had some of the details before the trade was even announced, didn't I? I texted you last Monday that a contract was agreed between the two sides.
Yeah, and I mean, that was all over on social media.
So I did some digging, and the similarities between those two trades is even bigger than I realized, because pretty much this was just them talking with the Packers and no one else really. That's what this boiled down to, because Stephen Jones trusted Brian Gutekunst to keep it in-house, not let it really leak too much. Didn't happen there, but it was really kind of like the Luka trade, as in it was two buddies that one side clearly wanted to get rid of the player and the other side was like, you're gonna give us this player? Okay, fine. Oh, what do you want? And that's really what it boiled down to. Now, with what the Cowboys are losing is a star edge rusher who is one of the best at his position. They gained 2 first-round picks and Kenny Clark. Kenny Clark is a talented defensive lineman, but it is noticeable that his worst season was last year. Just was. And he is 30. Even though he feels like he should be older, he was drafted so young. He's been in the league, I believe this is his 10th season. He is extremely talented, but you do have to worry about that decline for his play style.
I believe he came in the same year as Reed, didn't he?
He was, I'm pretty sure, and you're going to remember this, he was a Jermaine Ifedi draft.
Okay. Okay. Fair enough.
Yep. Long time ago.
Yeah, long time ago. Alrighty. So I have a question here, just because, I mean, there's been a lot of talk, of course, and I don't want to spend too much time on this because there's a lot else to go on in this division that we need to talk about, but this is big news. If you were the Cowboys and a trade, there's no ifs, no ands, no buts. You needed to trade Micah Parsons, right? You just felt that there was absolutely no way of getting around it, right? Would you have traded with the Green Bay Packers, who have a really, really good team? Odds are Micah is going to make them better. So really, you're going to be getting a very low draft pick in the first round, potentially for the next 2 years. Or would you have looked at another team, say that, because I can't imagine that Green Bay was the only team that was offering 2 picks, right? But I would think that there were teams that you don't feel would have been as good even with Micah Parsons and would given you better value for what you gave them.
So this is something, I want to shout out John Ledyard here, and I believe it's Oliver Connerly. I listen to their podcast on Substack, and they point out something that really I didn't think of. Say they let this leak. Say it's 2 first-round picks they're getting in Kenny Clark. What do the Lions counteroffer? The Lions don't want the Packers to win it. That's in division. Do the Bucks do something? Does an AFC team like Baltimore, like Buffalo do something? Do the Chargers maybe come in and call? Like, if this was leaked, they could have got so much of a haul. And it's not even the fact that, like, those are low first-round picks. Any team that would be trading for Micah Parsons at this time of year, it's going to be low first-round picks because only good teams are going to give up those picks. My question is, did they limit themselves by keeping this all hush-hush and limit themselves to 2 first-round draft picks when they probably could have gotten more picks in the future?
Well, I don't even know if they could have got more picks. My point is, one, you bring up the Lions. If Dallas has any goal of being dominant in the next couple of years, you're not going to want to give it to the Lions either because the Lions are a dominant team, right? So you're going to have to pick a team that you really don't fear, probably in the AFC. I don't really understand the logic about giving it to Green Bay, let's just go and talk to, say, 10 Dallas Cowboy fans and pick 5 teams in the NFL that they would not trade with.
Eagles would be one.
Yep.
Giants, probably Washington.
Yep.
Okay, now let's look at it.
Packers,
yes. I'm trying to think who would be the last one. Would it maybe be the Steelers because that is considered a big time rivalry?
It's probably a rivalry. I would guess that. Now you could probably throw there's no way that they would give that to, say, they would make that trade to KC just because that would just be dumb. But if we're at this point, why not talk to Cincinnati and do a cross trade, see if Cincinnati can get something with him. You can get Trey Hendrickson for a couple years and still get a couple of first-round draft picks, right?
Yeah, it really boils down to what were they doing. And I've seen people say that this was a culture move. Can I point out the issue in that right away? They brought in George Pickens this offseason. I don't want to hear they're making their culture better when they trade for George Pickens. I don't.
I would concur with that.
So this trade makes no real sense for who they trade him to. It makes no sense from a culture standpoint. This is not me calling Micah out or anything. I've just seen that argument going on online by Cowboys fans who, quite frankly, are just coping. And, let's say they make this decision back in March. Probably could have got a better haul. Probably more teams would have been interested in making this move because right now, coaches aren't stupid. General managers aren't stupid. They're going to look at their team and be like, yeah, we're probably not going to make it all the way. But you look at March, you have this grand plan of putting your plan in motion to make the playoffs and make some damage. I could see a team on the lower end convince themselves that Micah Parsons would help them get there.
Well, look at it this way, right? Think about it from just this perspective, right? Look how quick teams can turn things around, right? You might think that you might think that you are just a couple players away. Whereas, what about Jacksonville? What if Jacksonville would have, going into this said, hey, we'll trade you, a defensive lineman and a couple of first round picks. And you know what I mean? It's just, there are so many possibilities that I feel you could have used to make your team better. And that's the point I'm getting at for them, whether they wanted to, wherever they wanted to go with it. The fact that they chose Green Bay, your first round picks are not going to be, they're not going to be good, right? Because Green Bay is going to have a really good record. So I think that they should have chosen somebody different to trade with.
Or they should have got one of Green Bay's edge rushers. And this is nothing against Kenny Clark, and Dallas has had a major need at the interior defensive lineman position. But they have a rookie as their premium pass rusher, and I love Donovan Ezraku. We're going to get to him in a second. but it feels like they don't have that pass rush anymore. Like, with Micah Parsons on the field, there's always that fear that he can get to the quarterback. Is that fear still there?
Oh, no. No, he's not. They don't have that game changer.
Which is why I think they should have maybe gone for a Rashawn Gary in this move, or maybe even though he hasn't been with what we thought he would be, Lucas Van Ness. Just something. But they don't have anything really.
I would say that you're probably right. Oh, we were both kind of wrong on Lucas Van Ness. I mean, he's still got plenty of time to turn it around, right? But
well, now he's probably going to be out there in 5-man fronts with Micah coming down in the center. So yeah, his pass rushing grade is probably going to skyrocket.
Very true.
Yeah. Moving on, let's talk about some other moves. I'm a Steeler fan. I think it's appropriate for me to talk about George Pickens. George Pickens is going to be someone you're going to love, make one play a week. And you're going to be like, oh my God, he is amazing. Why did the Steelers trade him to us, my bad. And then you're going to see him run across the middle of the field. You're going to see him slack. You're going to see him, he doesn't run. He walks across the middle of the field. Unless it's a deep route over the middle, he's walking. He doesn't care. You're going to see him just not block sometimes because he didn't want to. You're going to see the mental errors that really frustrate you with George Pickens. And that's the issue with him, is that he's so talented. If he wanted to be, he could be a clear-cut number one on an NFL team. But it's not there. That mentality is not there. And when stuff goes bad, it snowballs with him. It will continue getting worse until it gets better. Talented guy, maybe getting traded wakes something up in him, but I don't think he's going to do well in the wide receiver 2 role because he wants to be the star, and you're not going to be the star with CeeDee Lamb there.
I can't really argue with that. I mean, I can't argue with that at all.
Yeah. Now, they lost DeMarcus Lawrence, and that whole DeMarcus Lawrence, Micah Parsons argument during the offseason is kind of funny now. Jordan Lewis, Chauncey Golston, Brandon Cooks, Chuma Edoga, Cooper Rush, Rico Dowdle, Trey Lance, Carlos Watkins, Amani Oruwariye. Like, nothing that really hurts you too much. I know you can say DeMarcus Lawrence, but he is getting up there in age. You have to let those guys go eventually. And it makes sense. Like, you look, oh, you're probably going to pay Micah Parsons. Oh, well, wait a second. Never mind. But it made sense at the time to let him walk, in my opinion. Now, not as much.
Do you think it was kind of like a slap in the face that they gave the extension to Deron Bland as quickly as they did?
I thought it was no for payment. I'm not the biggest Deron Bland fan. I looked at that contract and I thought, they're trying to play PR. That's what I thought. That look, hey, people do want to stay here. We like our players. That's what it came off to me.
We pay our players.
Yeah, that's what it came off to me is PR. Yeah, and they didn't bring in anyone noticeable. A lot of returning guys. Javonte Williams is maybe the one guy I'd like to discuss here because he probably is going to be the number one running back. And I feel like his time at Denver really got hampered with a bad knee injury, and he never really reached the heights I thought he would. I'm curious to see how he does in Dallas. I think he can do something pretty good. He can be an improvement on the running backs they've had there recently, would probably be the best way to put it.
Yeah, no, that is true. We've both been super high on, Javonte, and it just hasn't passed out. I think for him to have a successful remainder of his career, I think what really needs to happen is I just need to quit drafting him in fantasy football.
That's true. You do always draft him.
That's because I know that this is the year that he's just going to break out.
Don't draft him. I have him in a couple fantasy leagues. Don't. Moving on, because there's not really a whole much else to talk about. I mean, we spent enough time on Micah. Let's look at their draft, and their draft is very much what you think of their first couple picks. Tyler Booker. You were higher on him than me. I think this dude is a straight-up mauler. He will maul you to the ground. But I'm terrified of him handling speed rush. So, to me, this is very much going to depend on how much they can get him to improve on handling the speed rush from the interior position. If he can handle that really good, I think this is a great pick. If not, Dak gonna die.
See, I think that, to be quite honest, with their center guard combination, that'll help mitigate some of that interior speed rush, and it'll allow him to get his mitts on somebody. And once he gets his mitts on somebody, they're not really moving him, right? So I honestly think that it's okay.
He's a big reason as to why I'm buying into some Javonte Williams hype, because I questioned him as a pass blocker. The run game might open up some pretty nice holes. Donovan Ezeraku. I love Donovan Ezeraku in the draft. I'm pretty sure I talked about him more than you did during our mocks. I think I drafted him every single one of our mocks.
Well, yeah, I think we both like him. You just liked him a little bit more, which is, I mean, it's fine.
Ezeraku, this is going to sound really weird. I comp him to Davante Adams. Before anyone says they play different positions, this is the mentality is that I'm comping them to. Neither one of those two are great traits. They have good traits. Do not get me wrong. I'm not calling Davante Adams unathletic or anything. I'm not calling Donovan Ezeraku unathletic. But with what they did so great was they polished their technique over and over and over and over and over again. Their technique is so good, and that's what I really noticed with Donovan Ezeraku when I watch his film. He's not going to get this quick first step. He's going to destroy an offense lineman. No, he's going to set you up. He's going to beat you with his swim, with his rip, with his, oh my God, I'm blanking on another move. He has so many moves, my apologies. But he sets you up to beat you. He's not going to get you a whole bunch of production in the first quarter, in my opinion. But he's someone that heats up as the game goes along. I love Donovan Ezeraku. I think he's a really good player. And I don't expect him to fill in the Micah hole, but I can at least see him being a very good pass rusher.
Yeah, I like him as well. And I think that, one, they're going to need him. The only problem is with nobody else really to help out. I mean, that's the thing that's scary. You figure you're going to have Kenny Clark, and I'm your nose tackle is I can't pronounce it, but you've got Dante Fowler on your right side, and I mean, Ezeraku right now and Marshawn Nealon on the left side, right? Ezeraku isn't even your starter, so it's going to take some time.
Yeah. Siobhan Ravel, I wasn't his biggest fan during the process. I thought he was talented, do not get me wrong. And yes, he did have a knee injury. He had an ACL injury. Do you know who did the surgery on him?
Dallas.
The Cowboys team doctor did the surgery on him.
So I mean, he does a lot of those knee surgeries, though. So I mean, that's not really surprising.
No, but with what I'm saying is, he knows that knee better than a lot of people because he did it. They know. You liked Ravel more than me, if I'm correct.
Oh gosh, yeah, I'm pretty sure. I thought he was. If he didn't have this injury, he was a first round talent. Not to say that he's a first round grade, but he could have gone into the first round. I think he's really sticky, which is impressive, especially with the defense that they run. And so I just, if he's healthy, he's going to help make that secondary strong. I mean, you've got Diggs and Malik Hooker and Donovan Wilson, who they gave some money to. Elam, I'm not sure. I might have been wrong on Elam coming out of the draft. I really did like him and Deron Bland, but I think that he could get into that starting rotation sooner rather than later.
Yeah, and that's very fair. I think the biggest issue for me was his competition never really spoke to me. I didn't feel like he matched up with the receiver that could really challenge him. Moving on, we had the 5th round in. Were you a Jaden Blue guy?
Yeah, I liked him. I here's the thing with that Texas offense. I don't think they knew what the heck they were
I,
throughout the season.
I don't think they
So,
still know what they are after Saturday.
well, I mean, that's beside the point. Uh, but I liked him, and I think if you have him in the right system, I don't know if this system is the system for him, but I do. It's not that I don't think that he's super talented.
There was one team I thought that could draft him and I'd be okay with it. Dallas wasn't it. I thought Kansas City, I could see him really working well with Andy Reid. Very good at creating backfield receptions. That's what I think Jaden Blue shines at the most. I don't see that in Dallas. I have a hard time picturing him with this coaching staff. Moving on to Shamar James, a Florida guy, and I'm pretty sure you'll let me handle this because
Absolutely.
I'm the Gator guy. Shamar
Yeah.
James, talented guy, has some good traits, but there was one thing everyone said when he entered the draft. Should have stayed. Should have stayed. Should have stayed. His technique, it's still unrefined. There's a lot of stuff that's just not there yet. He's got some talent, do not get me wrong, but there will be some misses. He misses some tackles. He doesn't wrap up properly all the time. His coverages, they can be shaky at moments. He has a lot of talent, and I understand why they drafted him. This is a guy, though, you're going to have to be immensely patient with because he is not there yet.
Well, but I mean, once again, now you're at that point where you're drafting, and let's face it, Dallas. It's not like Dallas has a bad team. They have a lot of talent. They have significantly less talent on the defensive side without Micah, but they still are a very talented ball club. So, in a lot of ways, you typically are just drafting later in the draft, not as a starter, but as a developmental, right? So,
Yep. I fully prepared to butcher this first name. Johnny Cornelius, tackle from Oregon. He is a Oregon tackle under Dan Lanning. He reminds me a lot of the Georgia tackles that I've seen in recent years, just not as physically traitsy. He has some fine technique, but he still doesn't have that great of technique. He's a big guy, gets his hands on you. You're probably not going anywhere. I don't know how well this works out, but Dallas does have a history of developing offensive linemen.
yeah, and he's going to be really developmental. So, I mean, not a problem with that.
Jay Toya, I did not watch anything of him. I'm going to be completely honest. He was one of the guys I just never got to.
No, no. Yeah. I don't know much about film off. Here's the thing, though. Unless there's somebody that strikes out here, we can kind of just move on. I mean, they're depth pieces because once again, we had talked about Dallas as being, being.
I do want to talk about Phil Moffitt for a quick second because I actually had a higher grade on him than Jaden Blue.
Well, see, there you go.
So we won't see him play this year because I believe he is on injured reserve. So take all this with a grain of salt. To me, he was just a better runner with the football. He made better reads with the rushing lanes. Now, could that be part of the fact I think Clemson's offensive run scheme is better than Texas' offensive run scheme? Absolutely. But to me, when I watch Maffa, every time he seemed to be able to pick the lanes out really good, knew how to hit the holes properly. He's not the most physically traitsy guy, but he was just a good, solid running back that I think can carve out a depth role in the NFL.
Fair enough.
Okay, now that's gonna wrap us up. The Cowboys, some positives, a lot of negatives, mainly because of their own ineptitude sometimes. Moving on to the New York Giants, and I'm just gonna ask this real quick. Is this front seven the most terrifying front seven you've seen in a long time?
They have a really, really good shot of being very destructive.
Like, if you're a quarterback, you're looking at this. I just really want to see a bad offensive line go against this front seven.
That is kind of not nice.
It's not nice, but it would be fun. I know everyone that sports fans, we love offense. We just do. But there's that sick part in all of us that just love to see a massacre. We just can't look away. Like that Super Bowl we all watched. None of us could look away. We were watching that game just thinking, Pat's gonna die. Pat's gonna die. That's what we're gonna be saying when we watch this Giants defensive line. If they stay healthy, there's gonna be many games like they played the Saints. Oh boy, Spencer Rattler.
I am a little insulted though that you said that nobody likes defense.
Okay, people born in my generation don't care for defense as much as offense.
Oh, now that's fair, but that statement is different from what you said. So,
no one that's not a senior citizen cares for defense anymore.
Wow. Okay.
I'm gonna get punched for that.
No, not really.
Okay.
I consider the source.
Okay, now let's talk about the players they brought in. Paulson Adebo. I like him a good bit. Good slot corner. Just a talented player overall. Javon Holland. If you listen to our AFC East one, I really liked him. I was sad to see Miami let him go, even though they brought in Minka. He's younger, really good, really talented. Can come up and play the run pretty good. Which, like, I've seen Miami use him in blitzes, mainly when Brian Flores is there. You got to think maybe a blitz may be coming because the offensive line is going to be so concerned with the front seven in front of them that he might be able just to go right on in and kill a quarterback. Keeping Darius Slayton, I think solid move. He's a solid wide receiver. Chauncey Golston, he is what he is. He's a good backup, and he will be a backup on this team. James Hudson, gotta play someone at right tackle. Can't be any worse, I hope. Russell Wilson. Man. I think Russ could do really good this year. But I also could see it going very bad. It's really dependent on the offensive line. And the one reason I will say I can see Russ doing good is Malik Neighbors is the perfect wide receiver for Russell Wilson ball. He's a deep ball guy that can track the ball phenomenally well in the air, has great body control, is the physical athlete that can go up and get the ball. I think he fits Russ's play style really well and makes me excited to watch them play football together.
That's fair. Are we now just at the point where we're like, is it, is Russ just going to just go around and pass? I don't even like talking about him anymore. I think he has tainted his legacy so much that, it's sad.
I think Russ knows the end is coming, and I honestly think he just wants to make the playoffs one more time. That's what I think he's trying to aim for.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I think that there was a lot of mismanagement there. He shot his proverbial wad and didn't do very well with it. So, and here's the thing: the Giants were not a good team last year. So, I did like Azeez Ojulari. The fact that the Eagles picked him up, he's probably going to be a Pro Bowler. They lost Drew Lock. He went back to Seattle, backup quarterback. Other than that, Adoree Jackson, he'll be depth with the Eagles. Isaiah Simmons, he never really panned out. So, they didn't really lose anything, but they didn't really have anything to lose either. So, where this team is going to, I think, really set themselves up in the future is their draft, because they had a really good draft.
Yeah. First pick, Abdul Carter. They say thank you very much to everyone that picked before them. The NFC East says, screw all you guys that picked in front of them, because this dude's a game changer. Abdul Carter, he has potential to be one of these top-tier pass rushers in the league. With everything we just said about Micah Parsons, that's how good Abdul Carter can be. And that's saying something, because Micah Parsons is one of the best in the NFL, and he's also been one of the statistically best first couple seasons as a pass rusher in NFL history. Abdul Carter can get after the quarterback. He is a phenomenal guy in the pass rush. He can beat you with his natural ability. He has phenomenal traits. He has speed. He has power. He also has some good hand work. He can really fight hands very good. He's good in the run game. He holds up edges very well. He can crash down. He can just cause havoc. You can put him at linebacker. You can come down and blitz as a linebacker. He had an over 20% win percentage as a linebacker at Penn State on pressures. He's just a phenomenal football player.
Yeah. And I mean, not only is he a phenomenal football player, but he's just a genuinely nice person, right? And that's in that market, that's huge.
I will say he also has some mega cojones because he asked for Lawrence Taylor's number.
Well, I mean, hey, if you're gonna feel confident in yourself, why not, right?
Yeah, that's a lot of pressure. That's all I'm trying to say.
So Jackson Dart with trading back up into the first round to get Jackson Dart. I know you're not a fan of him really because of the system that he came from, but we know he's not as talented as Josh Allen. But can you envision another quarterback coach that could do as much with him as what Dable can do?
Maybe one guy, Andy Reid. That's it, and that's a high bar. That's an insanely high bar. Listen, I'm not the biggest Dart fan. I'm not going to come around here and say, oh, he's the future of the Giants, because I never saw on his film. And this comes from a big part of, I really, really dislike the Ole Miss offense. I don't think it helps development at all for the players. And I think that I saw all those issues with Jackson Dart, especially when he was pressured. He could not read some zone coverages. That was very evident at the end of the Florida game. Yeah, that honestly, the entire Florida game, it was very evident he had issues reading coverages. I want to advise Giants fans this. You don't want to see him play football this year. And I know that's blasphemy. You want to see your first-round pick play. I think he needs to sit for the entire year. Maybe you get him in the last game of the year, but I think it could do more damage than good with this offensive line in particular, because he panics. He has panicked before at Ole Miss when pressures got up, especially from the interior. Look at the teams that they played that had really good interior pass rushers. He panicked, he moved, and it got him killed.
Well, I think that's just that's gonna depend a lot on how the team goes. I mean, we think their defense is going to be very special, right? And so if their defense is special, but their offense is subpar, and they're out of the playoff picture, why would you keep playing Russell Wilson when, I mean, you're not going anywhere? You throw him in and you let him develop, that get those hardships down, right? But that is really the only time you want to see him on the field, unless they have a couple of packages specifically for him. If the Giants are relevant at any point in time this season, you keep Russ in there and you just ride the waves and you let him develop.
I would say even if Russ gets injured, I'd put Jameis out there before him.
Well, as long as they're relevant.
I still would keep him on the bench. I think he needs to sit a year and learn. That's really what I think he needs. That's my personal opinion.
Yeah, no, and I just think that if you're at a position to where you're not in the playoffs and you don't have a chance, then you get your number one draft pick as many reps as you possibly can, because you can't see a lot of things at practice, especially with the way the union is and everything else. You can't see what you used to be able to see in practice. So this is a way to get him live game reps to see a lot of the things that he's never going to see in practice, the different blitzes, the coverages. So you don't want to do that early, because this team could be a sneaky sleeper. But if they're out of it, then you kind of just have to go for it.
We'll see how sneaky they are at the end of this video. Moving on to Darius Alexander. Run stuffer.
Oh, gosh, yes.
The Giants looked at this and said, you know what? Our offense may not be the best. Let's just make sure every offense is our offense on the football field. That's what they said. And I think they're accomplishing their goal. Because in two of their first 3 picks, they drafted the premium pass rusher in this draft class, in my opinion. And then they came and drafted one of the better run stuffers in this draft class. He's not really a pass rusher, but doesn't matter. If he knows his role, comes in, plays in the run defense, stuffs the hole, get them in pass rushing situations, bring your pass rushers on, boom. I don't see an issue with this pick at all.
No, I think it's a really solid pick. Once again, you're doing depth. He's not. I mean, he's behind Nunez Roches right now, but he's going to see a lot of action, right? And so, just a good solid pickup.
Now, Cam Skattebo. Now, I don't know what your notes said when you first watched him and you were trying to scout him. My notes said football player. Because that's what he is. He's just a football player. He's the guy that will try to grind out those yards, those missing yards you try to find. He's the type of guy who will just take on that blitzer. No problem. He'll fight. Even if he gets beat, he's going to try and fight his entire heart out. He's just a football player. And is he the most talented running back I've ever seen? No, I don't think he's a starting running back. I think in this perfect world of Tyrone Tracy, he is a good number 2 to Tyrone Tracy. Come in short yardage, can come in if Tyrone Tracy needs to get a break, what have you. I think he's in a very good spot that he can play off Tyrone Tracy's strengths, and Tracy can play off his strengths. I think they are a very good duo in the backfield for the Giants.
I really, really like him.
I am shocked that you like the guy that I immediately put down football player. I am shocked.
It's a really, really very accurate adjective to use for him, right? I'm sorry. By the end of the season, he's your starting running back. There's not that Tracy isn't a good running back, and he did really well last year. The versatility for what Skattebo can do versus what Tracy can do, and the spark. I think that, yeah, I'm a big Skattebo homer. So
no, I like Skattebo. I always have him as a 2-back set, but I can understand that. I can understand seeing those things for him. I thought for the longest time this dude was going to be drafted to the AFC North because he just screamed AFC North football to me. That's the type of player you want playing in like a snow game.
Yeah. Oh gosh, yeah.
Moving on.
But I mean, look at the game last year in the college playoffs, right? I mean, obviously he was going on the other side versus a number 1 draft, and a number 1 draft pick, and still, can you say that he wasn't the more special back on the field?
No, and I'm trying to remember. I believe he was injured in that game too. Like there was footage of him, I think, like throwing up on the sideline or something.
Oh wow, I don't remember seeing that, but
I just like maybe he was like, because he was worked in that game. He had a lot of touches. Maybe he was like, his body was like overexhausted and was like, hey, you can't do this. And he said, I don't care, give me the ball. He was fighting his body. It was something like that. He just has that mentality. Marcus, I feel like I'm going to butcher his last name. Mimbow.
Yeah. It's another guy. I'm telling you. I really like him too.
I was so-so on him, and the reason why I say so-so is because I could not judge anything Purdue offense related or just Purdue related last year for draft reasons because nothing went right for them. And it was hard for me to really give a bad grade out because he had no help. So I was very indifferent on this pick because truthfully, I don't know.
That's fair enough. So I'm gonna go with my a normal disclaimer. Both 7 round picks, Fedone and Black. I don't really know anything on.
Black is on the Jets practice squad, I believe.
Oh, already. Okay. Well, I mean, hey, he's still an NFL player.
Yeah. So real quick on Fedone, I I watched a little bit of him from Nebraska. I put down in my notes, big boy. He is 6'6", 255.
Yeah.
Big boy. I don't really have anything else to add. They're 7th-round picks, as you said.
Yeah. And hey, like I said though, at least one of them's in the NFL. So I mean, you know, a lot of times these are player developments. They'll special teams before anything else. But yeah, I mean, they're still special people. They're still special players.
Yeah.
Now we talk about the reigning
Defending. Oh,
world champs.
Oh.
Yeah, let's not Paul Heyman this.
Oh well, sorry. In my defense, they destroyed the Chiefs. They destroyed the Chiefs like a lot of I've seen Paul Heyman manager matches have gone.
Yeah, but that's fair. That's fair. But yeah, neither one of us is as well spoken as Paul Heyman. So let's just keep going with what we got.
Okay, Eagles, you pay the Super Bowl tax. You lost a lot of guys. Milton Williams, Josh Sweat, Mekhi Becton, Isaiah Rodgers, Darius Slay, Oren Burks, Kenneth Gainwell, Avante Maddox, Fred Johnson, who I believe, didn't they just trade for him back?
I'm not sure.
Britton Covey, you paid the Super Bowl tax. To everyone who just went and spent money on Eagles players, you're playing a risky gamble with Howie Roseman. If Howie lets them walk, it's risky.
Well, they also have super depth, but let's go back through and look. Milton Williams, he is not. I mean, he's a beast, right? But he needs those players around him to be a beast. So we'll see how well it comes together in the Patriots.
And the Patriots had money to burn. You were not matching that.
Yeah, Josh Sweat. Let's face it, the Cardinals needed somebody. He shows up, so that was great. Darius Slay, at this point in time, I think that you have a lot of talent on the defense. Why would you pay $10 million? What they'll probably end up doing is they'll trade back for him about mid-season, and they'll get him for their playoff rush. So that seems to be what happens there. Mekhi Becton, the Eagles made him look amazing last year, right? But you could still see in those games on his pass rush sets that that's not what he is. He is a mauler. If you're going to just ground and pound, then he was the guy that you needed. But on those pass rush sets, he's just not it. And they finally moved him into guard. We've been saying that since he was drafted. At least I have. So finally, you can see that he actually plays pretty well at guard, but he does overextend himself. And he's still too big. He still, in my opinion, needs to knock at least 20 pounds off and see what happens there.
And he's already battling injuries with the Chargers.
Yes, exactly. So, yeah, they had to pay their tax, but their depth is so good to where a lot of what they brought in are just depth pieces. Azeez Ojulari, Josh Uche. I think that's kind of a sneaky good get for them.
That is the most annoying pickup because he was paid so little.
I know. It's like, but Adoree Jackson, getting him and for minimal. And it seems like, now you're going into a system with a guy that is so good at coaching DBs, right? The pick that I think is just kind of crazy, or the get that I think is kind of crazy. AJ Dillon is going to come in here, and there's going to be a game where did he even play last year?
I believe he was battling neck injuries.
Okay. But there is going to be a game where he pops off for like 100 yards. And it's just because of that offensive line.
I, it's frustrating. Eagles fans, we say this with nothing but respect. We hate
That's
you.
true.
We hate you guys.
No, that's
because
no.
Howie just he manipulates everyone.
But I don't know. That's not hate. That's not hate.
Okay, we're envious.
Okay, envy is a great word. Envious, right? We wish that our general managers could pull off some of these things that they do.
I see what you're saying. You don't want snowballs thrown at you. I get it. Don't want to make Eagles fans mad. And it comes down to it every single year. What do we always say every offseason? Don't pick up Howie Roseman's phone call. Just don't. And then some GM thinks, oh, I'm smarter than him. Hello? That failed.
Yeah. We're not in a good way.
Yeah, and they did make some trades. They traded Chauncey Gardner-Johnson for Kenyon Green. I think it shows how much they thought of Green that he's already not on the team.
Yeah.
But, they just make these moves. And you sit there and think, what did we mess up? I want to know what goes through a GM's head when they see Howie calling them.
Well, Howie's a wheeler and a dealer, right? So, I mean, you still got to take the call.
And then after
maybe they think they're going to be the guy that gets him.
Okay, then after you're done on the phone call and he asks about a player, do you think, what have we been doing wrong with this guy?
Well, a lot of times it's not somebody that's been bad. I mean, sometimes it's somebody that you don't want to pay. And guess what? The Eagles will pay, right? So
yeah, they had the benefit of an uber rich owner. They very much do.
So, I mean, yeah, it is what it is.
Yeah, and let's just speaking of trades, they traded up in the draft. They gave the Chiefs a hair. We're sorry we kicked your ass in the Super Bowl, 3rd round pick. Let's move up one spot, take Jahad Campbell. They got Jahad Campbell.
Yeah, well, God, I like Joe.
Vic Fangio has Jahad Campbell now.
Yeah.
How did teams let this happen?
Because teams are not as deep as the Eagles, right? And so they can do what they want.
And I can think of many teams that have a need at linebacker who picked in front of the Eagles. A lot. I know I'm sorry I'm laughing here. Jahad Campbell's an awesome football player. I know some people say he can be a pass rusher. I don't see that. Nor do I want that. Just let him play linebacker. And this dude plays linebacker in the Vic Fangio defense. It's not going to be long until everyone's like, oh, so he's one of the best at his position. Because he's perfect for Fangio. He's perfect. He's a good, solid tackler. If you want to blitz him, you can. But he's really good in coverage. He's Vic Fangio's wet dream.
Well, he's a lot. I mean, he's a defensive. Yeah.
He is a defensive prodigy with all the stuff he can do.
Yes, he is a troublemaker.
Yeah. Now we go to Andrew Mukaba. Second time I have said his name in a video and I butchered it both times because I had to stop. Talented safety. This is your Chauncey replacement. He's got some good range. He can make plays on the ball. I know he's dealing with a hamstring injury right now, so don't know how much he'll play early on. Talented guy, and here's the thing. He doesn't necessarily need to start because that Eagles secondary is really good with a lot of young talent.
I would concur.
Ty Robinson. Of course they get Ty Robinson. Ty Robinson to me was one of my day 3. Hang on. end of day 2, day 3 gems that I think could really flourish because I think he can play the run really good, but I think there's a lot of untapped pass rush ability with him. I believe if he went to the right system with the right players around him, he could become a pretty good pass rusher in the NFL. He goes to the Eagles.
Yeah, well, I mean, once again, it's just depth, right? So that's what they do. They have a team. They go out. They get what they need to fill in any cracks that they feel they have during free agency, or they go and they trade, and they're not afraid to trade. They're not afraid to give up for trades, right? And then what they do is they're just like, okay, we will take the best player available at a position where we feel that we need that player. And so hey, let's just go get a big guy in the middle. Let's remember, we lost Milton Williams. Is Robinson going to be Milton Williams? We don't know, but we're gonna throw some guys at it and see which one we hit with, right? So, I mean, you just can't. You can't. Yeah.
Mac McWilliams. Some traits to me he was a nickel. I didn't see much outside corner for him. To me, he was always nickel. Can maybe come down play. I don't know how good of a tackler he is because UCF didn't put him in a position that he really showcased that too much. It's very much I will trust the team making this pick move.
Yeah, I think it's developmental. I wasn't really a super huge fan of him. Ironically, Mondin, the linebacker out of Georgia, I here it's the Georgia connection, right? So they'll give him a show, but I really didn't see a lot from him to where I would think that that he was going to be a guy that they can make it. And
So I thought he would get drafted because I think he's got some special team upside, but that's really it. I didn't see a whole lot of normal defense alignments, if that makes sense, with him. I think he's a special teams guy.
I really like Drew Kendall. I mean, they seem to do this, right? They, you're getting in, in kind of like the middle of the round, and they take a guy that did really well in college, but you're going to be able to sit him and teach him your system. I mean, let's face it. Let's go back to Cam Jurgens. You were such an anti-Cam Jurgens fan.
Yep.
And now he's one of the best centers in football. So their offensive line scouting and like I said, I liked Kendall anyway. So
their coaching though too.
Yeah, their coaching is, and I mean, let's look at the next two. Kyle McCord,
who is on the practice squad.
Who's on the practice squad, but I mean, he's got some moxie. We'll see what happens. And Miles Hinton out of Michigan, he played tackle. I think he's going to slide into guard if to a team that actually does keep him.
So he is on injured reserve.
Yeah.
And I could see him going to guard because he's got a similar build to Mekhi Becton. He is 6'6", 323.
That's a pretty good guy. Pretty good guy. So, I mean, these guys, I don't know much about Cameron Williams or Atwan Powell Ryland. Actually, Ryland,
I know a good bit on Ryland. But I do want to really talk about Williams because he was a pretty good player at Texas. He played in 22 games in 22-23, made one start. In junior, he really took over as a starting right tackle. Do I think he should have stayed a year? Yeah, because he was very much developing. As you can watch, he got exposed in some big games. But the traits are there. You can very much watch him and see why a team would draft him. He has some good footwork. He has some splashes of brilliance. You just watch and you think, okay, he could be something. And then he shows that he is a very raw player. I think this is a guy that's very much a developmental player. And as we have stated, the Eagles know how to develop offensive linemen. So we may need to remember his name.
Yeah, there's not there. Yeah, I can attest to that.
Antoine Powell Ryland. I can't find if he made the 53 or not.
Let me see here. Rylan is on the practice squad.
Okay, he's on the practice squad.
Yeah.
Ryland was a guy who really popped as a pass rusher at Virginia Tech. His first school, Florida, didn't go so well. Went to Tech and really flourished. He was able to get to the quarterback very well. Played some good, solid run game. I think this pick could work out very well. I could also see it not because he's not prototypical size for the NFL.
So the interesting thing about that, though, is how often do they take somebody that's not prototypical size, and after a year, I mean, let's go back and I mean, let's face it. Let's go back and look at some of their defensive guys, right? Nolan Smith, you were not a fan because he was small, or right? They keep doing this. They get those guys that kind of get manhandled a little bit, but they're super traitsy. They're super quick, and after a year of learning what to do with their hands, I mean, they turn into people that you just get annoyed with.
Yes, very, very, very much so. I mean, we could continue talking about it, but the Eagles are still the Eagles.
Yep.
They're going to be a good, great team, and we'll talk about them, I'm sure, in a little bit when we talk about staff, draft class order, and where we think they're going to finish in the division. They'll probably be featured very highly for both of us there. Now we switch to the Washington Commanders, and I did not like this offseason. I very much did not.
Well, I mean, let's face it. How many teams in the NFL are older than the Commanders currently?
Honestly, I have no idea.
I would say not very many, if any. They are a very old team.
Yeah, it's weird. They got rid of Jonathan Allen, who I love. I've been a Jonathan Allen truther for a long time. They brought in Javon Kinlaw to replace him, and
not a fan.
Less I say about him, the better. Let's just put it nicely.
Not a fan.
I believe him and Dan Moore's contracts were announced right at the same time, and I can't remember who said it, but I saw it on, I believe, no, it was Bluesky. It was on Bluesky. And someone said, well, we have a 2-horse race for the worst contracts given out in free agency. And I laughed, and I'm like, those are probably going to be the 2 worst contracts out in free agency, and I fully believe they were.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I am not a Kinlaw fan. Never have been a Kinlaw fan, and I'm just willing to move it on. Re-signing Marcus Mariota. He's been in the system. He's familiar with the system. I think Von Miller at the price they got him for. I think it's good. The problem is I mean, at this stage in his career, he's not an every down player.
Well, okay. I have this weird take. I think if he signed earlier in training camp and all that, I don't think he makes the 53. Von Miller was one of the best speed rushers the past 20 years. I think that's fair to say. Here's the problem with speed. It's one of the first things that goes. When you pay a big-time speed rusher a lot of money, it will go faster than a power rusher. And that's with what we have seen with Von Miller, is the older he gets, the slower he gets, and the less production he gets you. And that's kind of what I'm expecting here.
It's possible. So, but they brought in. I mean, they brought in Deebo Samuels. They did trade for some guys. They got rid of De'Ami Brown. I know you're more of a De'Ami Brown truther than I am.
Yeah.
But
and you want to know the take I have? I'd rather have him than Deebo. Deebo's not what he was anymore. I saw a lot of issues in San Francisco. He clearly has lost a couple steps, and it's weird. He's not as old as you would think.
I think it's just the way they used him. you know, and so he's a blocker. He'll block with that move system of, offense that they use in San Francisco. The wide receivers block a lot and they engage a lot. And I mean, he's one of the best blocking wide receivers in the NFL. So he takes a lot of damage. And I mean, there for a while, he was their best running back a couple of years ago, and he took a lot of damage. So we'll see what happens moving forward. I am a Deebo Samuel fan, so I still think he'll be special.
So I just want to ask, how old do you think Deebo Samuel is?
28,
You are
29.
he is 29.
That's
So
close.
and it's you hit the nail on its head. It's how they used him, and he kind of just has that running back feeling, if you know what I'm saying. That once you get close to 30, we're all kind of like, ooh, he took a lot of damage.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah.
I mean, but he's so good.
Yeah. Moving on to another aspect I didn't care too much from the Commanders. Their draft class. Oh, well, actually, you know what? I want to handle this because we didn't bring up a big-time trade they made, and I blanked on that completely. They trade for Laramie Tunsil. On paper, like the move. You have questions about why he left Houston, all that. I'll let you handle that here in a second. But I want to pair this up with their draft pick. Josh Carnley Jr. There were players on the board I could have saw Washington going with. I thought Carnley was a fine tackle. I still think he's a fine player. The fact that you have two tackles paying as much as you do in Washington, and then you draft Josh Carnley Jr., I didn't get it. Especially for a team that's trying to go on a Super Bowl run. And as you said, they are an older team. This is not like some really young, fun, exciting team on the rise. This is an older team. And it feels like they drafted a developmental guy, and I don't get it. I don't. And there's nothing against Carnley. I liked some of his film. I didn't like some of it. I think he is very much in a developmental category of where I would really like to see him get some playing time at the tackle position.
Well, I mean, Connolly's going to play right tackle. Okay.
Is he?
Tunsil's left tackle. Connolly's right tackle.
Are you sure?
Pretty sure. I'm looking at the depth chart right now.
Okay, so is he the starting right tackle over Samuel Cosme?
Yeah.
They have that much money on the bench right there.
Okay, so just let's go here and let's look. Cosme's on the pup list right now.
Okay, that makes sense.
Okay, so so you've got Tunsil on one side and you've got Connolly on another, and Tunsil is top 5 left tackle blocking for passing, right? Not the strongest point against rushing. And I mean, he's had issues in the locker rooms. I think, in my opinion, you'll notice a lot of these like second year and third year coaches that are defensive minded and they have this concept of how they want their team to run. They're jettisoning anybody that is not buying in, right? We talked about it with the Seahawks. Geno's gone. DK is gone. Both great players. Both would have made Seattle better. I still to this day like Geno better than I like Darnold, but Geno did have some hiccups in the locker room. DK, he's won it out for a while. We know some of us on the field. Does that mean that I don't love DK? Absolutely not. I love him. He's so special. He's fun to watch. But Mike was like, nope, we don't want him, right? They don't have the buy-in. Houston trades him. Nope, don't want him. Doesn't have the buy-in.
So to add to your point real quick, Brian Flores trades Tunsil. From when he was at Miami, defensive guy got rid of him.
Yeah. So And hey, look, I think that their starting offensive line is better than it was last year, right? So that's better. Your depth is not there. Now, when Cosme comes back, then obviously you have depth because you can then, if you need to at guard, you can slide Connerly into guard to help out anywhere. But right now, until you're pretty thin. You're pretty thin up front. So
yeah, and again, this is not me really trying to badmouth Connerly. I don't care for how it was put together, and with what the pick was made, I would have rather they used one of their later picks in a dressing line, and probably looking for, I don't know, defense with that first pick. Moving on, they did draft a defensive player, and you were higher on him than me. I remember that.
well, yeah, I Moxie. He's big, he's rangy. You think about the last high pick cornerback that they went and got, right? Was
Emmanuel Forbes.
Yeah, and you were super high on him because he
Yeah.
was a playmaker.
I was high on him as a nickel who was not going to be drafted in the first round.
Okay, so who's the coach for this team?
Dan Quinn.
Okay, what is Dan Quinn like in his DBs? Length, and not afraid to put hands on people, right? He kind of likes that contact. So this is a perfect draft pick for Dan Quinn.
I would disagree, and the main reason why is I'm just not that high on Amos. I watched a lot of Ole Miss games last year, and one thing that was very noticeable when he went against NFL wide receivers, he didn't do too well. He was very handsy, as you notice, and he was way too grabby. And I think that's going to really bite him in the butt.
And this coaching staff is primed to be able to fix that.
Oh, well, see, like I said, I just wasn't his biggest fan. Jalen Lane, a little bit more on the positive. I don't really see how he fits, though, with the receivers, though, right now. I think he's a slot guy, but you got Luke McCaffrey for that, so I don't really see how he fits on the field right now.
So here's the thing. I was pretty high on McCaffrey last year coming out, but I'm not sure that Jalen Lane is in a better slot than McCaffrey.
I still like McCaffrey.
I'm not saying I don't like him. I'm just saying that I think Lane might be better.
Yeah, we could probably spend a good while talking about the Commanders receiver position from this past offseason. Moving on, though, Kyle Medrano.
Kane Medrano.
Oh, Kane. Oh, why did I have Kyle in my notes?
That's okay.
I apologize, Kane. I apologize. I didn't watch a whole bunch of him. With what I really did notice from the other UCLA linebacker that the Browns took, he didn't stand out to me. I think this is a guy that you draft for special teams, and that's really what you're going to get with the 6th round pick.
Oh, yeah, I would say the same thing. Okay. Here's the thing though. 4.46, good speed for a linebacker. He did show some coverage skills, so we'll see where that could be. Merritt, when does he take over as the starting running back?
So there's one thing I want to point out. I'm exactly 1 day older than him.
Merritt?
Yeah, April 12th.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I'm exactly.
You don't run 4.540 or a 4.45 though for the 40-yard dash.
I don't run a 5.40-yard dash. Looking at him, his journey is pretty cool. He started out Alabama State, transferred up to New Mexico, and then transferred up to Arizona. Very talented player. We all saw the preseason. We all see this preseason hype going around him. They traded away their starting running back last year because he's their starting running back now. It's not very hard to see with where this is going. He is going to be heavily featured. I was late on the Krosky Merritt's hype because I didn't watch a whole bunch of him from Arizona. A lot of my Arizona film was busy watching Tet because, let's be honest, I had a draft crush on Tet. So when he started getting this hype, I went back and checked and I saw a lot of the positives. And I very much see how he fits into the Cliff Kingsbury offense because you know who he reminded me of instantly? James Conner.
Ooh. I like that.
I started watching him, and I just had flashbacks to Pitt James Conner and early James Conner, and then I was like, okay, hang on, let's think. How was James Conner and Cliff's offense in Arizona? And then I started to think, I'm like, oh, this is going to work like a glove.
Okay, so here's my question. Why did they get rid of Robinson? I don't understand that.
I believe he only have like 1 year left on his contract, and they weren't going to pay him, so just get an asset for him.
Okay. The 49ers have to be loving that because, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it is an improvement for the 49ers because we look at the 49ers running back depth room, and listen, they can find a way to get anyone 100 yards a game with that offensive run scheme. They just do it so well. But you look at that, makes sense for the 49ers. I don't see it as a major loss for Washington because they were going to most likely get rid of him. And it really felt like a lot of their really good offensive plays last year were when Austin Eckler was on the field. They were able to do a lot more of their stuff, and I think Kroenke really fits that more than Brian Robinson did.
Fair enough. I like Brian Robinson. I didn't like him as much coming out. But to be quite honest, other than Connor's story, I really didn't think that he was going to be in here as long as he was either. So I just think that, full disclosure, I don't think that McCaffrey's going to have a bounce back year that everybody thinks. And I think that Brian Robinson is going to blow up in San Francisco.
Anyone who wants to hear my thoughts on Christian McCaffrey, check out my 5 biggest fantasy football risk. he may appear on that. Yeah. Moving on. Do you have anything else to add on to this, or do you want to get to our awards?
Let's get to the awards.
Okay. Real quick though, because I always do this, I like to go over the best move every team made in the offseason. Dallas. They didn't hand out a bad contract, is what I wrote down. Giants improved at quarterback. Eagles, they were able to keep Zach Bond. I know we didn't talk much about it because we kind of just know with what he is. Extremely talented linebacker, fits Vic Fangio's system perfectly. Nice contract for both the team and the player. Love the move overall. And Commanders, I did put Laramie Tunsil because, as you said, he is one of the better pass blockers in the NFL.
Fair enough.
Okay. Do you want to get on to positional upgrades we think these teams should make?
Sure. Obviously right now for Dallas, they need pass rush, right? So
imagine if you told that to a Cowboys fan a month ago. Oh, be priceless. You want to know what I wrote down? A mutiny.
What's that?
A mutiny. They need to get Jerry out of control.
Oh, okay. Well, I mean, yeah, but they need. To be quite honest, if I'm them, and I've been kind of out of it this weekend, so I don't know if either of these two have been signed, but I would think that going out and picking up Zadarius Smith or Jadeveon Clowney would make a lot of sense.
Neither of those two were signed.
All right. So for the Giants, I would still like the Giants to go out and get an offensive weapon, another offensive weapon, right? So here's the thing. Russ, as long as he's in it, I think their offensive pieces are fine. I just have a feeling that there's going to be something that happens, and so I would think that just finding another offensive piece. Yeah, as much as I like Scadaboo, maybe it's another running back. But just another offensive piece.
I wrote down line. I'm still not the biggest fan of this offensive line, and Russ holds on the ball long. Jameis Winston holds on the ball pretty long. A rookie quarterback will hold on to the ball pretty long. No matter who you have back there, they're going to hold on the ball. And their current line structure, I don't think is going to help them at all.
That's fair. I mean, that's fair. Well, who do you have for the Eagles? Because this is going to be funny. You're gonna laugh.
I wrote down a backup running back in case of Saquon's injuries history.
Well, I mean, that's kind of it's hard to argue.
Now, if I had to say what running back, I had to think a good bit on this, and honestly, I would call out the Bears and get DeAndre Swift back. I don't think he's going to be utilized too much in Chicago, and I think that's a contract you can easily get out of in the offseason, but it also gives you some protection in case Barkley does get hurt.
I think that the Eagles, you're going to be you're literally going to drop something, and you just remember this. There could be kids on this program, so don't make too many expletives. Asante Samuel Jr. Seriously though, that is the Philadelphia Eagles move. Like, I mean,
that's so Howie.
That's what I mean, because you don't need him right now, right?
No, yes.
So he can continue to rehab and get everything back. He's not going to get pushed. And then there's going to come a time mid-season where we're like, okay, we're going to play him. And all of a sudden, everybody's going to be like, I forgot how good that guy was. And he's literally going to, like, I mean, yeah. I'm just saying. That's what I would do if I was them.
No, thank
Hell,
you.
put him on the practice squad for right now.
I don't like that idea. That's just mean. That's mean. You don't need Howie to be like Thanos collecting Infinity Stones of talented players to stash until they're ready.
Well, so where do you have the Giants?
You mean?
I'm sorry, the Commanders. The Commanders. I apologize.
Defense. I do not like this defense. I don't care for the corners all too much. Their safeties I'm not the biggest fan of. Their pass rush I'm not that big of a fan of. I don't care for this defense, and I still think it needs upgrades.
So I still think they need depth on the offensive line. And I mean, like I said, I've been out of it. But Jedrick Wills, if he's still available,
I don't know if anyone signed him. I don't know.
All right. So that's just, I mean, because you can slide him in as a guard, but I mean, he's pretty good.
Yep. I can't argue with that too much. Moving. Do you want to do the awards or our rankings first?
You know what? However you want to do it.
I'm gonna do awards second because I think you're gonna laugh at my MVP pick. So let's start off with draft class rankings. I will go first to last. First, I have the Eagles. This cannot surprise anyone with how I talked about it. I talked glowingly about their draft pretty much throughout the entire process. They hit it out of the park. Big shock. At second place, I have the Giants. Giants were close to the Eagles. They were very close. The depth overall, I had to give the edge to the Eagles because I was just higher on some of the players, and like you compare like a Ty Robinson and Cam Scadaboo, I had a better grade on Robinson. I could go on, but that's pretty much how I gave it. I think the talent was both good for both draft classes. I gave the edge to the Eagles. Third place, Dallas, and this is really, really much me betting on Tyler Booker just being a monster in the run game and Donovan Ezraku being with what I thought he can be. That's really what I'm betting on here, and that's what I'm sticking with. Fourth, I have Washington. You can tell I thought some of the draft picks were a little to my liking. I do like Gonna keep on misdoing it. It's Krosky. I know I always want to say Crockett, I just do. I think he was a really good pick. He really helped boost the draft, in my eyes, especially with how he performed in the preseason. I saw a lot of ways he will be used. Really like that. Jalen Lane, I do like. I just don't know how they're going to use him.
Okay, fair enough. So I have Dallas for the top draft. I loved their draft. I mean, I really love their draft. So I'll be honest. You can take Dallas, the Giants, and the Eagles, and that's the order I have them in: is Dallas, the Giants, and the Eagles. You could, because of their team needs and the players that they drafted, you could put any one of them. I mean, those three. I think all three teams had really, really strong drafts. The Eagles, it's unfortunate because I mean they don't draft. They don't draft for need, right? And yet they seem to get all the right guys. And then I didn't like the Commanders draft as much. I mean, they did have some pieces that were good, but I'm not as high on their draft class as I was on everybody else's. And I really, really liked the other three.
Staff. It's kind of hard not to have the defending champions in first place, so they are in first place. I'm not the biggest Nick Sirianni guy, and I still won't be, but Vic Fangio carries a lot of the weight there. Second, I have the New York Giants. I'm still a Brian Dable guy. I will never not be a Brian Dable guy. I think he got handed a bad hand with a lot of the front office moves that Giants made, that Daniel Jones contract being the biggest thing, and he took that team to the playoffs still, which is impressive to me. Third place, Washington. I'm not the biggest Dan Quinn guy on this video right now. He'll probably have Washington ranked higher. It was honestly, to me, it was just I prefer Dable a lot more than I prefer Quinn, so that's how I ranked them. And fourth place, Dallas. As much as I could say it's unknown, a lot of this is also I just don't think they made the right moves at replacing McCarthy. And I'm not the biggest McCarthy guy, but I think they did downgrade.
Fair enough. So you're gonna be shocked here, but I have the Eagles as the best. I mean, it kind of speaks for itself. Now, once again, are we in that cycle where the Eagles, if they don't have the right defensive and offensive coordinator, that they're not as good? Because we saw Super Bowl crap, Super Bowl, you know. So I mean, let's just look at it when they have those guys. You know, right, they're really good. The next, I have the Giants. Oh, actually, excuse me. I'm sorry. No. I have the Commanders next. With the exception of not Kubiak, but with the exception of the OC, then yeah, I like the rest of their staff. And then I have the Giants, and then I have the Eagles.
You mean the Cowboys?
Yes, I'm sorry.
Yeah, I think we could spend a good while talking about that, but I tried to not be too negative on Dallas, so that's why I skipped there.
No, that's fine.
That's fine. Order. I'm going last to first, and I want to go this hand in hand with you, so I'm going to say mine, you say yours.
Okay.
Fourth place at the Dallas Cowboys. They trade away Micah Parsons. They actually were not originally my fourth place team, but after I found out on Monday that pretty much the contract was done and everything was going to happen, I slid them down fourth place. I do not think their defense is all that good. That pass rush, it's non-existent, and I still don't think they're that good of a run defense team. This trade made the Cowboys significantly worse, in my opinion.
On the defensive side, I 100% agree with you. I would say that on the offense, I like their offensive line. I think that pairing CeeDee Lamb and Pickens is a pretty scary combo, simply because they'll complement each other very well, right? I think their running back room is better this year than it has been in the past couple of years, and I like their tight ends. So offensively, I think that they're in a better position on the offensive side than they have been in the past couple of years. And because of that, oh God, I have the Commanders at 4th.
Where's your Dan Quinn truther at, huh?
Here's the thing. The Commanders are a player or two away from, at this point in time, being in trouble.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? I mean, that's just my opinion, right? They have, I will say they have the most exciting offensive player in this division, right? At quarterback. Let's face it. I mean,
Ooh, I would disagree because when Saquon's good, Saquon's damn good.
absolutely, he is. But Daniels, I mean, some of the stuff that he did last year, I just think is beyond special, right? And so I think that he'll have a little come to Jesus meeting this year, because teams will be kind of, knowing how to play him a little bit more. I don't think that his college tape and even his preseason tape last year, I don't think it reflected what he actually came out and did. It's like he flipped a switch and he was somebody completely different in a lot of ways. So I feel that he is special. But I like a lot of their players. I like Terry McLaurin. I like Debo, right? I think Merritt is going to be spectacular. Their defense isn't, it's not my favorite. They brought in a lot of age and experience. They've got experience, but a lot of those guys can't hold up for the full thing. So we'll see what happens there. So yeah, they're my fourth place team.
My third place team is the Washington Commanders. A lot of the issues you said, I have a couple other ones, and a big thing is I don't know how Cliff Kingsbury's going to adjust to different defense schemes. One thing we saw him struggle with at Arizona, once teams adjusted to him, he did not do anything to fix it, and it was bad. Jay Daniels, I think, is a much better quarterback than Kyler Murray. It's why I don't think it will be as bad, but I still don't have a lot of hope. And then I look at that defense, and that defense I just do not like. I complain that they did not make the right moves to improve that defense, very much so. I think Javon Kinlaw cannot be your starting defense tackle, but he's going to be one of the starting defensive linemen. Then you look at that secondary. I don't like that secondary. Marshawn Lattimore is not what he once was. I was not the biggest Trey Amos fan, and the other guys I just don't like still. And the safeties, I don't care for. Linebackers, we know what Bobby Wagner is. He's still really good, but you never know when Father Time's going to come. Von Miller, I just can't pretend that with what I saw at the end of his time at Buffalo is non-existent. I didn't think he looked like an NFL player at his last couple games at Buffalo. And this stuff I kept in my head, I kept on looking at it, and I wanted to put them above higher because Jay Daniels is, as you said, one of the most fun quarterbacks right now in the NFL. He is dynamic, and it makes me feel like they're going to win some games because of him that they probably shouldn't. But at the end of the day, I just had to have them here because I don't think their defense could stop anyone. Here's where I'll put it. They remind me a lot of the Cincinnati Bengals.
Cincinnati's offense is a lot better. I'm sorry.
It is, but I think we negate it with Cincinnati's offense is better, but the Commanders' defense is not as bad as that train wreck.
Ooh, okay. We can agree to disagree there. So I have a question here. Whose offense do you think is better, Dallas's or Washington's?
I'd take Washington barely.
Ooh, see, that's where we're different. Because here's the thing. I like Washington. I already said how much I like Washington's offense, right? But I like Dallas's offense better, and I like Dallas's secondary better than I like any part of Washington's defense.
That is very fair. My reason as to why is I just refuse to buy into the hype that George Pickens will be a number 2 wide receiver.
you have fan fatigue, and I completely understand that. But go back and look at that stretch that he had last year when Russ was throwing to him before he got hurt.
100%, and I fully get that. I just saw
And you can't double him. They were doubling him last year. Are you seriously going to double him and let CeeDee Lamb in single coverage?
No, you can't.
You can't. Dallas's offense this year is going to be top 5, barring injuries.
Okay, that's a fair statement. There is aspects of Pickens' game I can't get over, and
well, yeah, because he's an asshat. But that's beside the point.
I've been the nice one, and he tormented me.
All right. So okay, we've got 3 and 4. Who's your second place team? We know it's going to be the Giants.
Who is your third? Is third your Dallas?
Third is Dallas. Yeah.
So, wow, we both had the Giants in second.
Cam Scatterboot, I'm telling you.
Listen, I think the Giants' offense is massively improved from last year, and I think
their defense is a top 5 defense.
That front seven, I can't stress enough how good that front seven is. I have a little bit of concerns about the Giants' corners. With what alleviates concern with corners, I don't know, having the quarterback have to throw the ball in 1.5 seconds before they're killed. That's what I see. I don't see quarterbacks holding up. Especially as we have listed off the Commanders, we both have concerns about this offensive line. One injury, if one of those players gets hurt, how do you think they're going to hold up against the Giants?
Yeah.
Not good.
Well, and I think that Javon Holland in that secondary is sneaky good. Deontay Banks is going to take another step forward. I like their pieces a lot better than I like Washington's pieces. And they're young, right? So they are all going to continue to grow together. So
the Giants are one of the few teams oh yay, Brian Burns and Kayvon Thibodeau are off the field. Oh, Abdul Carter's coming out.
Well, I mean, Abdul Carter is.
I meant to say Abdul Carter first.
Yeah.
My brain went to some reason Kayvon Thibodeau, but
so I think Thibodeau will not finish the season on the Giants roster.
Oh God, he's a Raven. Oh God.
No. I would not be surprised to find him. Well, I mean, I would not be surprised to find him in the AFC. I don't think the Ravens. Yeah, okay. That's highly possible.
Okay, the reason I say that, and I'm sorry, Giants fans, I'm doing this real quick. Jadeveon Clowney looked really good in Baltimore system a couple years ago. Kayvon Thibodeau, I've always comped to Clowney.
Why do you think I remember earlier in the season I said Seattle should trade for Kayvon Thibodeau?
Because he is Clowney. He plays like Clowney.
But who is the coach there?
Ooh, yep, the guy. Okay, that makes sense.
All right. And Seattle's got Cap. I would not. So I was going to say Seattle, or I was going to be stupid and say Cincinnati, but Cincinnati would never pay him. So
yeah, everyone who's scoffing at the Giants being this good, we're arguing about their third or fourth edge.
Yeah. Okay. So I'm gonna go out and make my next statement, and then you can follow it up. There is a sliver of possibility that the Giants could finish first in this division. And the reason why I'm saying this is because we don't know how the Eagles offense is going to look. We love the pieces on their offense, but we don't know how quickly it's going to mesh. We saw 2 years ago the same pieces on the offense couldn't literally get out of their own way, right? And so it's going to be interesting to see what happens.
So I think that is possible for a couple of reasons. One, as you mentioned, offense, we don't know how this coordinator is going to be. I think there's two other big possibilities. A.J. Brown gets hurt or Saquon Barkley gets hurt. That changes their offense completely.
Yep. I would 100% agree with you there.
I still have the Eagles still taking it by a good bit because
Oh,
if
they are the most talented team in the NFL so far as player talent.
they were as good as we think they are, they'll be the 1 seed.
Yep. That's who I have as the 1 seed. So
I had that until Monday.
I thought we were talking 1 seed in this division. So
Oh no,
okay.
I was talking
Okay. No,
NFC as a whole.
that's for another episode.
Yep, and that's what I'm teasing.
Okay.
I'm in the media game. I understand this. Okay, moving on to awards. I think we're both gonna have the same for offensive rookie of the year. Krosky. It's gonna bug me. JCM, and that's what I'm gonna call him now, so I stop messing that up.
Yep. That's who I have.
As
That's
I
who I
said,
have.
he reminded me of James Conner. He is clearly the one back. Even if you do really like Cam Scatterbo, he is not the one running back right now.
No.
JCM's gonna have all the runaway to really take this over.
Yep, I agree.
Defensive rookie of the year. Can I just say I find it funny? My phone auto-corrected defensive rookie of the year to deity.
Ooh, that's funny.
So my phone's making a very bold call here, and it's a dual Carter. I love him. I had such a stupid high grade on him in the draft class. I still have that stupid high grade on him. He is so talented, so good.
I would. I mean, seriously, I didn't fall off a turnip truck, so I mean, that's who I have. I'm going to be interested to see who your defensive player of the year is.
Well, it was someone else. Let's just put it like that. At some point, offense player of the year, Saquon Barkley. I couldn't give it to anyone else in this division.
I'm there.
Defensive player of the year. Who'd you have?
Dexter Lawrence.
Same team, wrong player. I have a dual Carter.
Interesting. Dexter Lawrence is. I mean, when the Giants were able to get pressure on the outside last year, he was an unstoppable force, right? And now you're going to have a guy that is going to be able to, in theory, take over games in Abdul Carter. And so what are you going to have to do to block Abdul Carter?
Slide protection.
And so who is going to be next to Abdul Carter?
Monster.
Yeah.
So I was debating between three players here. I had Dexter Lawrence, I had Jalen Carter, and I had Abdul Carter. I debated about this. I knocked Jalen Carter off, and it really came down to Carter and Lawrence. And this was hard for me. I went with Carter strictly because I can see teams giving more attention to Dexter very early on, allowing Carter to eat up early.
Ooh, I don't think so.
Yeah.
I think teams are going to be scared because you don't, I mean, literally you can, in theory, slide protection and everything else on the inside. They'll start with trying to chip Carter with a running back, with a tight end. But yeah, and Dexter Lawrence is just so dang good. Okay. So, so we got that. Who's your MVP?
Saquon Barkley.
Who called that last year first?
Didn't we both have him for MVP?
No.
I thought I did. I'll check the footage. I'll check the footage. We'll hear about this later. And even not, I have enough editing skills so we can make this work.
Okay. All right.
No, I thought of Jalen Hurts, but I'm also like, man, Jalen Hurts is just not the engine of that offense. Like, well, Jaden Daniels, I guess, but I don't have them doing well enough, so I couldn't put the Dak, same thing, didn't have him doing well enough. And Giants, I was like, do I put Abdul Carter down 3 times and just see which one gets the worst reaction? And I was like,
for me, it's like this. I mean, everybody talks about how really good Hurts is, but we saw games last year where he was a non-factor. The Rams, and there were other games in that, right? The factor on that team was Saquon Barkley, right? And we've also talked about how amazing we think Jaden Daniels is. And so for me, it was a difference between Jaden Daniels or Saquon Barkley. Daniels will have, spectacular numbers. I think they'll be playing from behind. And so he will have some amazing numbers, but I can't put an MVP that I don't think is going to even make the playoffs. And so Saquon Barkley is my MVP.
Well, here's the thing, though, too. You say Jane Downs will have playing opportunities because we'll be trailing. Well, how much trailing are the Eagles going to be doing? They're probably going to be leading, and that's going to mean run the ball. Kill the clock. Although, you might, instead of killing the clock, you might be run up the scoreboard with Barkley.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it's very much dependent on how you view the rest of the teams this division, and with how we view them, it's hard to come out with a different take. I mean, I'm sure some Eagles fans would say Jalen Hurts. I'm sorry, he's not the guy that makes that offense go. He's just not, and we saw that a couple years ago.
We saw it last year.
Yeah, last year, and he was great in the Super Bowl. Do not get me wrong, but do you make it without Barkley? I don't think so. So that's really where I stand. And as you said, we have a preview. We got to iron out what date we're going to get that done and up, but it will be up before the NFL season. I don't care if I'm editing last second. It's going to beat that by a minute. I will get that up when it's time. This is coming up Tuesday. Another video coming out today is my own previews. We'll be coming back. We'll have this debate. I don't know if you'll watch that beforehand, so maybe you can get a little things you want to quiz me on. But my previews, personal previews, are going to be down today as well. I have who's the head coach I think is going to get fired, MVP, my Super Bowl pick, surprise playoff teams for each conference, teams I think will fall off a bit for each conference. That will all be there. I hope you tune into that. I hope you enjoyed this. This, I believe, is our longest video we've ever done. I'm looking at the recording timer. We're at 1 hour and 40 minutes. Some of this stuff will probably be edited off, but not a whole lot, because I think this was really good content, really fun, had our laughs. I hope you enjoyed watching this, listening to this, however you consume this. If you would hit that like button, I'd greatly appreciate it. If you hit that subscribe button, I'd appreciate that. Share this in your NFC East friends. Or if you want to laugh at some teams that you don't like in this conference, we all had those teams we don't care for. By all means, come laugh at the Cowboys. I'm sure we all have been doing it this past week. I hope you enjoyed this. Thank you very much for watching. Have a great day, and football is back this week.